Hey, y'all, welcome back to Reddit to Wire. Well, we've completed our elements of handicapping analysis of the Derby contenders, and we've done our final assessment. So now it's time to list them in our final top 20 Derby contenders list. So here's what it looks like. So here's what our final top 20 looks like. Now, this is based on the four-part analysis we did, form, class, speed, and pace. If you haven't watched our Elements of Handicapping series, I highly encourage you to do so, and you'll get an idea of why we came to the conclusions we have on this list. Number 20 is Jace's Road. He's a pace factor only, hasn't proven to be good enough, and he's a toss. Number 19 is Ray's Kane. There's a little sign of a smidgen of improvement, but I don't think ultimately he's got enough to factor in this race. Number 18 is Rocket Can, another one who is probably going to move forward a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to factor in this race based upon his prior performance. Number 17 is Reincarnate. He has been an underachiever throughout the Derby prep season, and his numbers indicate that another move to compete in this race is unlikely. Number 16 is Confidence Game. He's been off since the Rebel Stakes. He's had a 70-plus day layoff, and he's even during that, he's missed some training. So I have a feeling that while a move forward is possible, I don't think it's going to be enough. It's probably going to be a little slow. Practical Move is regressing pace-wise as the distances are getting longer. He's a fine horse, but I think the distance is a little too far for him here, so we won't be using him. Verifying is basically, I think he's run his peak performance in the Bluegrass Stakes. It'd be highly unlikely that he follows up with another effort better than that or commensurate with it. So he's likely going to bounce, so that's a toss. Continuar just doesn't fast enough. He can run all day. He's a stayer, but he's not. He doesn't have the speed to be competitive in this race. Sun Thunder has basically plateaued. I think he just hasn't proven to be fast enough. He needs pace to run to, which I doubt he's going to get in this Derby. And even that, so the last couple of races, he's moderately closed without really being much of a factor. So I don't think he's going to make it. Lord Miles shows steady improvement, a little on the slow improvement side, but the Wood Memorial, he kind of put it all together, and it is possible for him to take another jump. And if he does, it's very possible for him to be a competitor in this year's Derby. Underneath, more than likely, but he's got the pedigree and the class to factor in this race should he make another move. Number 10 is Hit Show. He's proven a cut below, didn't beat much in New York. He has all the intangibles to be a Derby contender. He just looks a cut below, and it's questionable whether or not he's going to make another move, but I think he could perhaps find his way underneath. Kings Barnes, we really still don't know what to make of him, but he can get the distance, and he does appear to have some talent, and more than likely he's going to be up on the engine or near it. And in this race, that's a good place to be, so he's worth consideration. Number 8 is Disarm. He's another one. The training's been rushed. He's raced a lot in a short amount of time, but he appears to have the talent to handle it. The question is whether or not he can take that big step forward to factor in this race. Number 7 is Two Phils. We really like this horse. He keeps getting better. Not sure what to make of the Jeff Ruby because it was on synthetic, but I definitely think it shows that this horse is progressing. And while speed-wise he might be a slight cut below the contenders because of his competitiveness, I think he can factor in this race, but more than likely it would be under. Number 6 is Mage. Everything points to another big race. He's improving steadily. All his numbers are moving upward, and he's trending in the right direction. The question may be if he quite has enough to get over that hump to win the race. But I think he's certainly a competitor. If he breaks better, which is a big if, he could definitely be a really serious contender in this race. Number 5 is Dermot Sonogaki. We're really not sure what we have for the most part. Based upon some guesstimates, we think he's going to be competitive in this field. He seems to line up well with the top contenders. So I would consider him to be a win candidate. The real question is what running style is he going to employ? He's been training as if he's going to come from off the pace, but all logic tells you that being on the front end might be a better place for him. So we'll have to see about that, but I think he's a must-use in this race. Number 4 is Forte. All our analysis indicates that he is plateaued. He's got a fine record. He's a fine horse. Every number he has matches up well to be in this race and be a win candidate. The question is whether or not he can make a move ahead. And he's probably going to have to win this race. I think there are other horses who have caught up to him, who look ready to make that move forward to be a serious win contender. But I'm not counting Forte out. I just think there's others who are moving ahead of him as we go into the Derby. Number 3 is Tapit Trice. He is one of them. Everything indicates that he's sitting on a big one. His speed numbers are progressing. His pace numbers are progressing. He has the pedigree, the class. There's no reason not to consider this one a serious win candidate, except he does have some mental fragility, and we do have to wonder about that, particularly how he's going to get out of the gate and where he's going to be placed tactically. He does not have the greatest tactical speed. And inter-race speed isn't so great either. He's a straight-ahead runner. They're going to have to get him in the clear, so he's going to have to run a lot more distance than some of the other contenders, but he definitely has the stamina to do it. Number 2 is Skinner. Everything points to this one running a monster. His speed numbers, his pace numbers, he's got all the tools, and I think he's going to get on a track that's more conducive to his style of running. He got a better speed figure than Practical Move or Mandarin Hero, who both finished ahead of him in the Santa Anita Derby. And that's because he lost so much ground because he had to be carried wide. But this one is really looking good right now, and he's a serious win candidate in my opinion, and you're going to get a nice price. Number 1 is Angel of Empire. I've liked this horse all the way through. He continues to progress, and in particular, what sets him apart to me is his tactical speed, his ability to accelerate quickly and get to where he needs to. That should allow him to pick his way through traffic if he needs to and get into position to take the race down. He's a little light on speed, that is true, but everything indicates that he is ready to take another step forward, and if he does, that should put him right and squarely in the sights of the winner's circle. So Angel of Empire, number 1 win candidate. So that's a good reference point for us prior to the post-draw. It puts things in perspective, I think, from my standpoint anyway, to take a look at, have a firm picture in our head who we're going to use, who's serious, who maybe isn't so serious prior to the post-draw. And then, of course, we'll alter the list once the positions are drawn. We'll have post-time analysis, post-draw analysis later today after they select them, so be on the lookout for that. We're also going to cover the Oaks, which we haven't talked about a lot, but has been ongoing, and we have been monitoring it, so we'll have some ideas about maybe some ways to go in the Kentucky Oaks on Friday. We're also going to take a look at the undercards on Friday and Derby Day. There's usually some good opportunities on those races, and sometimes they're better than the Derby, so we'll take a look at those. We'll also probably have some kind of a session on betting strategy, on maybe how to bet the Derby. It's a wide open year, so there's a lot of different value plays to make, I'm sure. So we want to take a look and see what maybe are the best ways to go and to attack it and to maximize our ROI, which is what we want to do. Hope our analysis for the Derby so far has been helping you out, and I thank you very much for tuning in. If you do like what you see here, of course, please like and subscribe. Love the comments I'm getting from you guys. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you how much that means to me. It's a bit of work to put these things out, so the fact that you're enjoying it and getting something out of it means a lot to me. So I really want to thank you for those of you who have dropped a line. We're going to have more coverage, as I said, so be on the lookout for that this week. And it's getting hectic, and it's these last few days are really the craziest. So let's all try to hang in there. And until I talk to you again, be well.